So what happened? Because you rock up to the game between Delhi and Punjab, and 10 overs in, the lights go out.
A couple of the light towers went out and we were just sitting there at the top waiting. And I heard a rumour, like a couple of seats down, they were saying, we might have to evacuate the stadium because obviously the light's gone down. We'll just sort of wait. And we're a large group of family and extra support staff. And next minute, the guy that kind of wrangles the group of us and gets us on the bus and whatnot came up and his face was white. And he was like, we need to go right now. And we were saying, it's okay. Like, we're probably best off letting everyone else get out of the stadium and, like, stay here. We're probably safer at the moment because there'll be bloody people going down the stairs everywhere. And then the next guy came out. His face was white, grabbed one of the children, said, we need to leave right now. And we were like, what's going on? We weren't told anything. We had no idea. Next minute, we're down, being shuffled into this room. It was like a holding pen. All the boys are there. Faf didn't even have shoes on.
Faf
didn't even have shoes on. They're all just waiting there looking stressed. And I said to Mitch, like, what's going on? And he said the town 60 kilometres away had just been smacked by some of the missiles. And so there was a complete blackout in the area, which meant that's why the lights were off because the Dharamshala stadium was like a beacon at that point in time. So they turned the lights off and they were evacuating everyone. So all of a sudden we're crammed into vans and off we go back to the hotel. There was madness. We were sitting on the bus with some of the Punjab players. I think Shreyas was on my bus. So it was just like get in a van as soon as you can, get out of there.
Was there thoughts that this game wouldn't go ahead? Did you feel secure in the thought that it was going ahead? We
weren't sure what was going to unfold in the next 3 days because all the northern airports were shut. So we flew into Dharamshala and obviously basically by the time we'd flown in and that night fell, all the airports in that area were shut. So we obviously knew we were going to struggle getting out if completely necessary unless they opened it and things calmed down. So that probably created a little bit of anxiety around that as well, and knowing that Mumbai weren't coming up because they had no way to get in. So they basically said, we're not coming. You've got to come down south a little bit further and we'll meet you there. I think that was kind of the discussion that took place. So, yeah, there was a lot of anxiety around especially probably the Australian group because we didn't have a whole heap of information as to what was going on. And that's probably been, and I'll say this has been the really interesting and probably the scariest part of this whole situation is probably the misinformation that's around the world and probably around life in general at the moment. There's a lot going on, but everything you read was different. Everything you saw was different. Everything you heard was different. So what was actually taking place, no one really knew. Even the governments weren't really sure what was going on because no one could really understand unless you were quite literally living in these villages that were getting attacked. So I think that created probably more of the anxiety. I think there was a lot of talk around we shouldn't be playing. It's not a great time to be playing, first and foremost, but also we're quite close to what's being fought over. So should this happen, but we were assured everything was fine. Everything's okay. It's miles away. The game will go ahead. And everything will be fine. And look, at the end of the day, they evacuated the stadium as a precaution, which was fine, but it was probably a little bit too close for comfort, if you ask. Probably an Australian who we live quite safely and happily down here, but it was a little bit close for comfort.
So you get in that bus, you drive away. What happens?
Well, it was more like, how do we get out? Like at no point did I really feel like terrified, like something was genuinely going to happen. Like it still felt like 60 kilometres isn't that far away, but it still felt like there's a lot of mountain ranges to get over before you get there. And I don't know, it just was like, okay, well, what's the plan? What's the process to get two teams, BCCI staff members who are all working at the game, crew, you think about the television crews, broadcasters, everything. How do you get this large amount of people out of this place when there's no planes, no nothing?
You're talking hundreds of people, aren't you?
Like there's 300 people, I believe, that were
travelling circus
trying to get out.
Yeah.
So I don't know, there was a few whispers of pack a small bag, we're getting on a bus tonight, we're leaving, we're getting out of here, and that was quickly shut down by some security briefing that said, look, if you go tonight, you're at a real risk of something happening because driving on the roads, first and foremost in that area, are not safe at night. The roads aren't great. It's quite hilly and if your driver gets tired, you're in strife. So we'll all go together tomorrow. We've got a plan in place. We'll get you out in the morning. Don't panic. sit tight tonight. Help yourself to the buffet.
So you're not in the bunker, just like down below.
No, we're staying in this beautiful resort in Dharamshala that looks over the whole town, and you've like got the mountain behind you, and it felt like you could be anywhere in the world. It's like on an exotic holiday, and here we are being told we're going to get evacuated. But don't panic. Help yourself to the buffet. And as true to form, all the Aussies went down to the bar and said, well, we're going down. We're having a Corona with us.